The summer before I started JSU at my high school, I had come back from an Israel trip sponsored by my community and realized that there was a need for an outlet for the students that had returned to discuss topics such as Israel and Judaism in a comfortable setting.
In the JSU clubs, we had a great opportunity to have a range of guest speakers. We've had Russians talk about how they came to America. We've had a Jewish cowboy come down and say how he really got into Judaism when he was brought up in Texas. We've also had Professor Dershowitz come and speak.
The difference that I notice in her is she found that being Jewish is actually a lot of fun. She went to a program where she broke a board in half with her bare hands. That's not typically a Jewish experience. But what JSU does is it brings the fun of Jewish kids getting together and doing things together and having fun together to the high school.
My first JSU club that I ran was right before Yom Kippur. And I had these bracelets with the name of the Israeli terrorist victim there and when they perished. And I told them to go research this person, find out a little bit more about their lives. Now I'm going into clubs and I still see these tattered metal bracelets stuck on these kids' wrists.
Rather than have kids come to where we are, we're actually going out into the schools, both Jewish schools and to public schools and to private secular schools. On a day-to-day basis, we service 6 different public school clubs a week in Massachusetts and 3 in Connecticut.
As my time at JSU progressed, I became just more involved in my Jewish knowledge and I wanted to know more. I was more curious.
JSU for me was a model of Jewish education in high school. It was a very unique Jewish program that isn't out there.
My favorite memory of JSU had to be when we invited Renan Gisson, former advisor to Ariel Sharon, to our school. It was amazing to see the amount of students that were extremely enthusiastic about hearing such an influential person in Israeli politics and really gain a sense of my peers' true passion for understanding the world around us.
And it's very difficult growing up in this very assimilated environment to make proper Jewish decisions. But I want to see them when they're going out into the world and they're more independent, to think more Jewishly. Whether it's who they marry, or whether it's where they want to send their kids for school, or whether it's where they want to live within a Jewish community.
I don't know how you make kids make Jewish choices, but the more time they spend and the more fun they have with their Jewish peers, and the more positive experiences they have around Judaism, the higher the probability that they're going to make Jewish choices.
JSU is important, especially at public schools, because it helps Jews in learning their identity and what their customs are of their people and their ancestors.
It's just a good place to, while having fun, learn about your Jewish past, learn about Judaism in general.
We're about touching lives, and we strike the balance between finding a critical mass of kids, so I have a natural snowball effect, and making sure that we can kind of keep up with their development.
They're seeing leadership that's fun for them, that's exciting for them, that gives them experiences that they really enjoy and they learn from. It's another way of supplementing what you do at home to try to ensure that they'll make Jewish choices as they get older.
I went to a Shabbaton. It was just really amazing.
I continue going because of the people there, Rabbi Miller, the friends you make. There's so many awesome experiences you can have through NCSY.
After Shabbos, we went outside and Rabbi Miller was playing the guitar and we were dancing. We were on the mountains, so we were looking up and we saw the stars.
The unique approach of NCSY is that it's inclusive and non-judgmental, yet it's clearly inspiring.
Probably my most amazing experience was, it was like, 2 o'clock in the morning and we were all still up talking and just people started telling their stories from so many different backgrounds. Some people growing up in public school, some people growing up in a Jewish school. Just hearing all the diverse stories and feeling so connected to every single person, that was just an amazing thing.
The people who I've met there have changed who I am and made me into who I am now. I have so many great friends that I've met on the Shabbatons that have just affected the way I've grown as a person.
NCSY is like a home away from home.
NCSY has taught me that it's okay to open up and Judaism can be fun.
The reason I do NCSY is mainly to reconnect with a Judaism that I'm used to, but I don't see it in my daily life.
NCSY has a really unique ability to group together a bunch of different teenagers and just inspire them all.
NCSY is a huge part of my life. I learn a lot in every Shabbaton, more about myself and about my Jewish heritage.
It has helped me learn more about Judaism through those weekends.
You learn moral values and you learn ethics on these Shabbatons, and I think that's something really important and integral to understanding the NCSY events.
At the beginning, I felt really at home in that atmosphere. You know, I felt like this is who I am.
As a product of their involvement in NCSY and coming to our JSU clubs, the choices they make after high school tend to be quite profound.
I think it's ultimately chosen my future career for me. I used to joke that I wanted to major in NCSY, and now I'm an Edges major, so here's doing Judaic studies, going into Jewish community work.
I know my house will be like infused with the songs and the spirit and the ruach that NCSY has provided me.
The goal of NCSY is to inspire Jewish teens to lead Jewish meaningful lives. We want to get them to a point where once they graduate high school, they'll continue to make Jewish choices.
NCSY and JSU have both definitely opened up a new community for me, and it's been a whole new experience that I've totally loved. I've been more immersed in my Judaism.
It really inspires to reconnect to a different side of Judaism. Through NCSY, I've come to make a decision that I should pursue this feeling of eagerness for more Judaism. I've decided to go to Israel next year.
Ultimately, we want to give them the tools and the opportunities so that they'll continue to stay engaged and to grow in that engagement so we can inspire a Jewish future.
I know that NCSY has changed my life for the better in many ways, and many of my friends have grown significantly through NCSY. I just hope that NCSY can continue to do this for many generations to come.